And we're going to get started in a minute. I just wanted to make sure that you could hear me first. I'm going to do just a couple of technical things before we get started. I think I have 2 minutes on my clock here, so that's how much time I have to get my act together. So if you could just chime in on chat and say that you could hear me, I would sure appreciate it, and I will work to get myself in gear. Oh, one thing I wanted to do though was to show you. Let's see the workbook, right? So you want to make sure that you get the workbook going. And while I get all the technical stuff, you can make sure that you've printed your workbook. And I want to thank you all for coming. Pam can hear me. Yay, Pam. Thank you. So listen, we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. If you wanted to share maybe where you're calling from or how old your children are, that would be very fun. I will say that, we're all here together, and you're welcome, Karen. We're all here together, and I know you have busy lives, but I also know that the amount of time that you spend working on things like this can really pay off in the long run. Not just to help you feel good about yourself, right? But also to get the college admission and scholarships that you hope for. Everybody's sharing. That's good. Martha, 14-year-old from Atlanta. Larissa. Hi, Larissa. It's good to see you. Fun to see you online. Okay, well, let me get my little act together here because there's things that I got to do, buttons I got to push. It's a problem. Okay. I have 1 minute now. Okay. I will say that we're going to be putting together knockout comprehensive records today. And 1 year ago, Sine was on this call, took this class with me. Today, Sine wrote to me and she said her son went for an interview and the admission counselor praised his comprehensive homeschool records and said he had never seen anything like it before and said it was the best transcript ever and that the records were clear, organized, and easy to navigate. So I think you're going to like this class, and I'd like to know that a year from now that you're going to get these great results too. Okay. Make sure that you have your workbook printed. And at the end of the class, I'm going to give away 2 freebies. One is a book called How to Put Fabulous Fun on Your Homeschool Transcript. The other one is a cookie recipe collection. So these are going to be given to all attendees free, no purchase necessary. All you have to do is stay till the end. It's a thank you gift. Okay. All right. So according to my clock, it is time. So now is the time for us to focus and learn and turn off your phone and close your tablet and everything else. You're just going to do this one thing. This is you time, right? We all have things behind the scenes, but this is just for you, just for now. Okay, I hope you guys have it is our me time, right, Trudy? Okay, so I hope you have your workbook because welcome to my class, Homeschool Records That Open Doors. Today, you're going to learn how to harvest the fruits of your labor with comprehensive homeschool records. My name is Lee Benz, and I'm the home scholar. I homeschooled my 2 children through high school graduation. And when my children were applying for college, the admissions director said to me, your transcripts and records were the best organized and documented that I have seen, which is, of course, what Sinai just heard yesterday, right? It was music to my ears. And this is why I'm so excited to talk to you about this today, because I love helping other parents succeed through the high school years. So are you in the right place? Is this class for you today? You can go in and chime in on chat. And just say, yes, this is the right place. If you can't see anything but the chat, then you have to minimize the chat window and you'll be able to see my screen. That happens when you're watching on a phone, okay? So anyway, you want to say, yes, you're in the right place. If you have a junior high student or an older student and you want to learn about high school records that can earn college admission and the highest possible scholarships, okay? Oh, good. Everybody's saying yes. Very good. Okay, I do want you to stay for the whole class today. At the end, I'm going to give an offer for the comprehensive record solution for those who stay to the end. That only takes me about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to spend lots of time answering your questions at the end. Now, when I do give that offer, you'll see that I have a great promotional bonus today with huge workshop specials, buy one, get one free offer, mini conference bonus that is added on. So, be ready for a good deal. So let's talk first about our worries, because I want you to feel comfortable knowing that we're all in this together. Okay. What are your biggest concerns about high school records, right? Would you say it's creating the records or transcripts or grading or testing, or would somebody believe me, or will colleges accept them, or how can we earn scholarships, or maybe something else? Janessa, totally new. I don't even know what I don't know yet. But I totally understand that. Yeah, transcripts, you got to make one, right? Well, so here's the thing. We all have questions about record keeping, and that's what I'm here to help you with today, to help you grade classes that you're doing on your own, making class descriptions, having all your bases covered. That's what I'm here to help you with. So in this class, you're going to learn how to create transcripts, course descriptions, work samples, reading lists, activity lists. And after you put that all together, I'm going to teach you the steps to making a final review. And then after we do this teaching portion, I'm going to answer your specific questions about homeschool records. Okay. So we're going to be able to help you with all of those things that you have questions for. All right. Do you remember what it was like to have a little kid? Remember when the children were so young and enthusiastic, and each year was a new adventure? Well, in my family, when I was looking like this, right, we were single income. And we saved a little bit of money for retirement, but mostly we just spent all our money on life. And college savings seemed like the last thing on the list, right? We had this slow realization, though, that our kids were growing older and that they would both be in college at the same time. And that's when the panic really struck. We saw a financial planner to help us figure out what to do. He happened to say that what we needed to do, our required monthly savings, was $300 per child per month since birth. My children were no longer close to birth, if you know what I mean. Now, we decided we had different options, right? We could say no to college, but that wasn't going to work for my family. I could go back to work full time, right? That was an option. Or we could try to win full tuition scholarships and then figure out what to do. And so that's what we did. And that's why I became obsessed with high school record keeping. Now, I will say that our children are not perfect in some way. They're academic, but they don't excel in sports. They're not super involved in the community. They're not super social. My children are sweet, ordinary, lovable, nerdy boys. They still are, even at 30, right? We decided that our best chance was to play to their passions, the things that they love to do. So that was their nerdy things, their chess, history, economics. And I would try to follow behind them and document the things that they did without necessarily forcing them to do something that, they hated. So for me, it became even more necessary to put the best homeschool records together possible, because they didn't have some of the things that other kids had, right? Well, fast forward quite a few years, my husband and I could not believe it. We got off the phone with the college, and they just told us that our youngest son had gotten a full tuition scholarship. At this point, we got a little worried because we hadn't heard anything about my older son and if he had gotten a scholarship or not. He decided to wait till he got home from work, and we, were ready to let him down gently, and said, "Oh, you remember that scholarship thing?" And my son Kevin said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. They called me. I got that full tuition scholarship." So, he forgot to tell us that he won the full tuition scholarship. Anyway, our piggy bank was saved, and it was so much money. It completely changed our life because we no longer had to pay for our two kids to go to college. But I'll tell you, it's not just my children. Steffi and Georgia had a similar experience. She wrote to say that her daughter received great scholarships from her first choice university, could get even more later on. The admission officer told her that she had very impressive homeschool records. So you see me and Steffi and Sane, we all were able to create homeschool records, and you can do that too. Okay. You have spent years planting the seeds of high school education, like Steffi, and now you can watch it grow. You can collect and gather and harvest these homeschool records to demonstrate the sum of all of your hard work. Now, as I was doing research on getting these, you can do this, Phyllis. As I was doing research on getting these scholarships, I started to realize three very important things. Number one is that college costs are reduced when you clip college coupons. And college admission chances are improved when you clip college coupons. But clipping college coupons takes time and effort and wisdom. Now, what I'm going to do is just spend a couple of moments about going through the 8 college admission coupons so that you can clip these college coupons. And then we're going to focus on the one that's going to be most helpful for you today. All right. Clipping coupons requires time, effort, and wisdom. So let me teach you what they are. You can write this in your workbook, right smack dab in the middle of page 2. Increase the chances of college admission, clipping college coupons. You ready? Number 1 is to provide a rigorous academic education. This means teaching them stuff. Okay. Number 2, genuine activities and volunteer work. Genuine means the kid actually likes doing it. Number 3, a professional and accurate transcript. Okay, I want you to look at the word professional, circle the word professional. Now I want you to do something for me. All right, all of you are professional home educators. Okay, all of you can write a professional transcript. Okay, so what I want you to do is to write in, I am a professional. Okay, so you type that in. I'm not moving on until you keep going. All right, I am a professional, because you can make, that's right, Martha, you can make this professional and accurate transcript. Okay, and number 4 is very similar. Thorough course descriptions. You can write these thorough course descriptions because you're a professional, Janessa and Katie and Rebecca and Karen. We are able to do this as the professional. Okay. Now, number 5 is meaningful college visits. These are done by the teenager. Number 6, timely completion of application forms. That it takes a lot of effort to turn those in on time. Number 7, great letters of recommendation. And number 8, self-reflective, technically perfect application essays written by a teenager. Oh my goodness, that's such a nightmare. Okay, Stacy is a professional. Hi, Stacy. And Dorothy is a professional. Hello, Dorothy. And Stephanie. Good, good. All right, so those are all of the things that you can do to get into college and to get scholarships. All right. But today we're going to talk specifically about those related to homeschool records. Okay, so that's going to be number 3 and number 4 and number 2, so that they know what's happening. All right. Why do we do this? It's not because colleges hate you. It's not because they're punishing you for homeschooling. It's because colleges want to know your school, and they actually want to know all schools. They want to know all teachers, curriculum, statistics. They will request homeschool information from you so that they can get to know your school, but they actually request school information from all the other schools too. It's just you never hear about it, right? Colleges want homeschoolers to apply, and they may not require all of these things for admission. They may not require course descriptions, for example, but having them can help them know who you are. And if they know who you are, that can help them give you scholarships. Always remember, colleges would frankly rather you paid full price. They would rather you paid whatever, $40,000 per year for college, right? But knowing homeschoolers as I do, I'm pretty sure you would like to get some scholarships, right? So that's why we're going through this class today. Now, this is really important. I want you to write this down. I want you to start early, be prepared, and create records early. Okay. So in your workbook, where I say this is important, I just want you to write down create records early. One mom gave her daughter a GED because she thought she wouldn't need a transcript. Colleges needed it anyway. She missed the deadline, missed the scholarship. Another mom missed out on any scholarships. Her child was devastated about not being able to go to college. Another parent figured community college was the plan. All of a sudden, the daughter changed her mind, wanted to go to the university. Mom was scrambling, right? You want to create these records early so you don't have an emergency. This is what Lisa wrote to me in December on a Sunday night through Facebook. This is a Facebook message. It's like, what am I supposed to do, right? Subject line was course description emergency. She started her transcript 2 weeks before it was needed by the college. She thought that was all the time that she would need. Her student had 2 years of college by dual enrollment. What could she possibly need, right? Well, all of a sudden, she finds out at the last minute that the college required course descriptions. And she had to turn in course descriptions Monday morning. And this was 9 o'clock on a Sunday night. Obviously, I was not available to help. So she is begging you, see the letters in red. She's begging you, please have moms start early. And that's why I'm bribing you with your cookie recipe today, because I'm really hoping that my cookie book is going to help you to get motivated to get your course descriptions done. So how are you going to avoid your own course description emergency? Well, one option is to say chocolate. Chocolate solves everything, right? I believe in chocolate. Number 2, you could say, this is clearly my spouse's responsibility. I have seen that tennis ball go back and forth a few times. You could decide to say, when asked, you could just tell the colleges, no, thank you. I choose not to make course descriptions. I choose not to have scholarships. Or you could say, everything is written here on little yellow sticky notes all over my kitchen. Or number 5, you could say, perhaps just this once, I should consider, possibly planning ahead. That's so funny. Yeah, so you definitely want to have that. All right. Oh, let me finish. Meaningful college visits. That's what it was. Meaningful college visits. Okay. So let's get cooking. I want you to understand that creating comprehensive homeschool records is kind of like making Thanksgiving. Okay. It's not hard, but it does take a lot of time and effort and planning. And when you're making Thanksgiving, it is much easier when you use recipes that you're familiar with. So what I want you to do right now is become familiar with the recipes of comprehensive records. So let's start cooking up those yummy homeschool records. You need the list of ingredients, and here they are. There's 5 things, okay? Number 1 is the official transcript. Now, in your workbook, you might want to write down at the bottom of page 2, it's a 1-page overview, okay? Number 2, course descriptions. That is a 1 page per class or less. All right. Not more than 1 page per class is a course description. Number 3 is a reading list. That's a list of books they read for fun and for school. An activities and awards list, which is kind of sort of like a adult resume. Okay. Work samples in case the colleges want to see something specific. And all of these things together provide that great outside documentation that you have done the thing. You have educated your child, right? It's proof that you've educated them. Now, when you think about recipes, I know some of us can create holiday meals without a recipe book, but I certainly cannot do that. I have trouble making things up from scratch. And so it's helpful when you can find some successful template to use. Now in cooking, it's called a cookbook. And in homeschooling records, it's called the Comprehensive Record Solution. That's what I have created. And it provides the templates, the simple Word documents, the easy to use descriptions that are cut and pastable. But just in general, you want to find some successful template that you can imitate or use somehow, so that you can be more successful instead of trying to come up with it on your own. Now, the menu is the table of contents. Okay, so let's talk about the menu. We're on the top of page 3. The menu is the table of contents. Okay, and that will show them what is included in your comprehensive records. The table of contents will give a page number for the transcript, a page number for course descriptions, a page number for your reading list or your activity list or your work samples or any state law documents that may be required. So the table of contents probably should have these different kinds of things if possible. Anything that you can do to make the job easier will be helpful. The recipe, Catherine, is find a successful template and find additional training or someone to imitate. Okay. All right. Now the appetizer is the transcript. The transcript is going to whet the appetite, right? So that they know what they're looking at. It's usually a 1 to 2 page overview. It's the minimum requirement by colleges. You make the transcript official in this way. You might want to write this down. Okay. You write official homeschool transcript on the title across the top of the page, right? Official homeschool transcript. And that's how you make a transcript official. It's the cornerstone, the backbone of your homeschool records. It's the basis for your comprehensive record. You do the transcript first, you perfect the class titles, and then you describe each class. Now, you do need to make your transcript every year when your children are in high school, so it's ready to go at all times. You might need it for summer camp. You will need it to get a good student discount on car insurance. You will need it for college admission. You might need it later on if your child goes to graduate school or is employed somewhere where it needs a transcript. The decision to homeschool means that you are responsible for making that transcript. It's not hard, and I have resources to help you, but it is actually your job. Okay. Now, the main course, though, the main course is the course descriptions. That is the meat and potatoes of your homeschool records. So let's spend some time talking about the main course. So you write down the main course is course descriptions. Okay. I know a lot of people who are scared about this. You do not need a degree in education. You do not need scientific training in graphing calculators. You do not need grading rubrics. Okay. Course descriptions really have just 3 ingredients. And just like your main course at home might have, a protein, a carbohydrate, and a vegetable, same thing is true for course descriptions. There's only 3 ingredients. It's what you did, what you used, and how you graded. So let me explain what I mean by each one. The first piece of a course description is a paragraph about what you did. This part of the course description is really a descriptive paragraph. Now, you may be asking yourself, can I write a descriptive paragraph? And I'm here to say, yes, you can, because I happen to know that you have taught your child to write a descriptive paragraph. And if you've taught your child to write a descriptive paragraph, you, in fact, can do it too. Okay. Now, I am a homeschool mom, true confession time. We may whine about writing a descriptive paragraph as much as our children whine about a descriptive paragraph. But in fact, you can get it done too. Okay. So remember, all you have to do is write a simple descriptive paragraph about what you did in the class. Number 2, the second piece is a list of what you used. A list of what you used. Now, it could be textbooks you plan to use, a list of other things that you actually used. It could include supplements, additional books, things they picked up for fun, activities you used, field trips you went to, museums or plays or science center. You could list activities and lessons taken outside the home. Okay, so all of this is a list of what you used. It's the intended and the unintended and the bunny trails all together. Number 3, the third piece is a description of how you evaluated your child. Now, this is important when you think about how you graded or how you evaluated. Never evaluate based only on tests. There are no schools that evaluate children based only on tests. It's always everything else they did and their projects and their writing and their class participation, etc. Okay. So, a course description should include every way that you've evaluated, not just tests. And it can be short and sweet, right? My grade is based 1/3 on tests, 1/3 on projects, 1/3 on reading. Or it could be very long and detailed. Every single test score, every single lab write up, every single percentage they got on every piece of work. So it could be short or it could be long. All right, now that's the 3 ingredients. So let me show you how to pull that all together so it makes sense. Okay. We talked about how course descriptions may create whining in parents, um, and that it has a paragraph describing what you did. Well, so the thing is, a course description then is really a 5th grade writing assignment. I'm being a little generous. It might be a 4th grade writing assignment or a 3rd grade writing assignment. We're going to call it a 5th grade writing assignment. Okay. So here's what I need you to do on chat right now. Okay. Look at the screen. This is a 5th grade writing assignment. Now I want you to type in, I can do this. Okay. Phyllis, I mean you. Phyllis just confessed she had writing anxiety. Okay. I can do this. All you have to do is write a descriptive paragraph, a simple one. We do it the same way we teach our own children how to write a descriptive paragraph. You start off by giving a writing prompt. Later, you can get more creative in your writing as you become more comfortable. So, what I'm going to do, this is especially for Phyllis right now, who has a writing anxiety. I'm going to give you 3 writing prompts that you can use to describe your classes. All right, here they are. So, you want to write this down. Number 1, in this class, the student will. Okay, write that down under course description writing prompts. Number 1, in this class, the student will. That writing prompt is going to give you the tone and the first person style of your writing. Okay, it will help you to decide. It's going to be kind of formal. It's the starting that's hard. This is your starting sentence. Number 2, the student will study blank with blank. Okay, write that down. The student will study blank with blank. This is going to help you focus on what you are writing and why you are writing it. Number 3, this is the one Phyllis is going to love. Okay. Topics include, and that's where you list all the crazy words from the table of contents in the textbooks. Okay. Topics include. Now, these writing prompts are going to get you started. I encourage you to start with your easiest course description, maybe a class where you actually used a textbook, for example. Okay. So it might be something like this. In this class, the student will study the concepts of Algebra 1. The student will study using a spiral approach included in Saxon Algebra 1. Topics include, and then you go down the table of contents and you grab all those freaky words from the table of contents. One little tip though, when you say topics include, remove random capitalization. Okay. And because all those words will be capitalized on table of contents and they're not capitalized when we make them a sentence. And so Andrea and Melissa are freaking out. Future tense, past tense, what tense do I use? That's why I say the student will study blank with blank. So you don't even have to think about tense anymore. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter what tense you use, but you want to just choose one. And so I'm choosing for you. And that's why I'm choosing the future tense. The student will in the future do these. So yeah, you do use all 3 of those writing prompts. Okay. But really it's okay to use any tense that you would like to use, right? I felt like it made it look more professional when we use the future tense, as if I had actually intended to do it all that way, even though you and I know that homeschooling is like constantly going down rabbit holes, right? So no, this is making it look like I intended to do that. Okay. Can you write a sample for number 3? Yeah, topics include, and then you list whatever is in the table of contents. Okay. All right. Now, we've been through the main course, and obviously the next course is dessert. Yay! This is where the chocolate comes in. Because you see, some colleges may request work samples, and work samples are kind of like the yummy dessert. They provide that sweet, sweet proof positive that your child did what you said that they did. They might include writing samples. So if you decide to include writing samples, you only include their very, very best things and only one or two or three samples. Something that's kind of sort of short, but not too short. Okay. So in my children's lives, we had one that was a creative writing piece, one that was a research piece, and one that was an opinion piece. And that's the writing that I included. Now, in some colleges, they will request work samples. I have seen colleges request math tests in the student handwriting. That wasn't a hardship for me. I kept tests. I could easily provide that. Apparently, colleges are so used to seeing people cheat, not homeschoolers, but just people in general cheat. They wanted to make sure that they could see the math in the child's own handwriting. Science lab report. I was very glad I kept those. And then I was also asked for a graded English paper. And so for that, I just printed it off the computer, wrote a big old A on it. Okay. Now, when you're writing course descriptions, it can add some gravitas. If you have your work available, you could say work samples available on request. Okay. So when it says, topics include, and you're listing everything that was on the table of contents, you could the last sentence could say work samples available on request. Okay. If you don't have math tests in the student handwriting, you can use SAT tests, practice tests that you give. Okay, after dinner, when you relax with a cup of coffee or tea, you are doing something that is similar to a reading list. You see, a reading list kind of fills in around the edges. It is equally satisfying for college admission representatives. After that full meal, of course, descriptions and work samples, this fills in the gaps. A reading list shows the interests of your child. It includes delight-directed learning. It shows the breadth of their education. It demonstrates college readiness, right? So here are some of the big keys you need to know about the reading list. Most importantly, it is a simple list. It is not a bibliography. So I'm not going to pick on Phyllis anymore. I promise. But, you don't have to write some sort of research paper that you're, doing a bibliography for. No, this is just title and author. Okay, easy peasy. You can alphabetize that list, and that will help you to prevent duplicates, especially if you have a prolific reader. So, what is a normal amount of books on a reading list? It is normal for a child to have 6 books per year. It is normal for a child to have 600 books per year. But Andrea and we have this similar problem. Can it be too long? I have a reading maniac. Yeah. So what I started to realize as I was writing my reading list for my children was that after you get up to about 50 books, you have proven your point that you have a prolific reader. Okay. So if you could get the books that you wanted to include, but after 50 books, don't worry about it. You can if you want to, right? But don't worry, because it isn't going to gain you anything to have more than 50 books per year. If you have a reluctant reader like Bobby and Catherine, then what you do is you'd really, really, really try to encourage your child to have 6 books per year. Now, remember, these 6 books are things that are for fun or for work or for pleasure. They can be, you can include magazines on there, but I do like to see kids reading with their own eyes 6 books per year. So, it could be about politics or economics or popular mechanics or anything. Now, the after dinner mint is the activities and awards list. Some parents will make this look like a resume. Some parents will make it look like a volunteer record. One mom I was working with has a musician. She created a music repertoire for each year. I was just working with a Gold Care member who was doing that same thing. Your child does not have to cure cancer to be putting that as an award. Okay. Let me explain. This is for normal children. So, activities. Activities are organizations and groups that your child belongs to or attends. Youth group at church, taekwondo, homeschool co-op, and awards. These are any special notification, commendation, no matter how small. Sure, you could say National Merit Scholar, but you could also say, they were commended. They were a National Merit commended. Or you could say, you applied for the scholarship and won 25 whole dollars, right? You just put down what they did do. Okay. Now it's important to remember though that some classes may also be high school credits. Okay. Let me explain. When I was in high school, I took choir every year. Choir was on my transcript in public high school. Choir was on my activities and awards list in public high school. So Andrea's question, what about drama? Is it a class and an activity? Yes, when I was in public high school, I had lots of friends that did drama and they got high school credit and it was on their activity list. Other examples might be choir, journalism, yearbook, orchestra, band, that sort of thing. Lots of art classes. All right. So this is important. One of the things that you can do to make your child have a wonderful comprehensive record is to look over the transcript for ideas that you can put on your activities and awards list. Okay. Once your comprehensive record is complete, you kind of have to expect to have a little bit of overlap. So look at your transcript for ideas for your activities and awards list. Was that PE class? Was it an organized sport? Was that art class? Was that a lesson of some kind? Because those might be listed separately in your activity list. And then do the opposite. Look over your activity list. Oh my goodness, we're involved in 3 different orchestras and I don't have a single music class listed on my transcript, right? Because it could be something that you missed that should have been included on a transcript. Now, of course, with every meaningful meal or celebration, it's not over until it's over and you've cleaned up, right? Until the kitchen's back to normal, it's not over, right? And the same thing is true when you're doing your homeschool records. You have to do your washing up here. So the cleanup is the final review, okay? And we are in the middle of page 4 in your workbook. The cleanup. How do you do that? You're checking for perfection. You do the spell check first. That will get the easy spelling and spacing problems done. Okay. Hopefully that will pick up some of your random capitalization problems, but it may not. Then you want to shrink it down to 50% by making it really, really small and seeing multiple pages at one time. That's going to help you find any formatting problems, a change in the margins, a change in the font size, a change in where it starts in the middle of the page. Then the next thing you do is you enlarge it to 150%. So it's huge. And you read it again. That can help you pick up spelling or grammar problems that aren't found in a regular spell check. Punctuation that, you should have removed the punctuation. And, just because it's a word doesn't mean it's the word you intended. And then you remove any stray marks. Okay. Once you've done this check, then you update your table of contents and save your work. And when you're saving your work, it is very helpful if you can save it with a very formal file name. Child's last name, child's first name, child's middle initial, comprehensive record. Okay, good. Now, you do want to repeat this process every year, okay? But I will say it will get much easier. And I'm going to right now give you 5 important tips to help you make your records in an easier way. So if you need to grab a new pen or pencil, now is your chance, okay? If you're freaked out by writing, I am not naming names, then now this is for you. This is the part that's going to make it easier for you, Phyllis. Okay, I'm so picking on you today. Isn't that funny? All right, first pro tip, number one, okay? The cover letter is used to introduce or explain, okay? The way that I prepared my homeschool records was it was spiral bound, all put together in the order that I gave you earlier. But on top of that spiral bound material was a simple cover letter that said, enclosed is the comprehensive homeschool records for my son, Kevin Mintz. Okay, it's very, very simple. But sometimes using a cover letter can be your very best friend if you need to explain something complicated, like taking 5 years for high school, having serious health troubles, having failing grades, multiple changes in school situations. You can use the cover letter to your advantage. One tip with the cover letter, never mention anything that happened before high school, and try to avoid anything that is not about the student. So you're not saying, I had marriage troubles. That is not something that you include in your cover letter. Okay. It's about the student and the school, only about high school, not anything smaller. Right. Okay. Number two, cut and paste is so much easier than compose, create. Oh my word. Use course descriptions from others when you can. This is why I provide hundreds of course descriptions in my comprehensive record solution. Cut and paste is something people are very familiar with, right? Control C, Control V, cut and paste. There's something else I want you to be aware of. You might want to write this down, okay? It's called Control F. Who knew that was a thing? Control F will help you find a course description, okay? So if you are looking at my comprehensive record and you're trying to find a course description for choir, you go into the big document that's hundreds of pages and you say Control F, and up will pop a dialog box and you stick in choir or chorus. And then when you hit enter, it will find that word in that entire 200-page document or whatever, okay? Now, you can use course descriptions that are provided by a classroom situation. So if your child is in a co-op or taking online classes, you also have permission to use those course descriptions. Yes, it does work on a Mac too, okay? Number three, you can copy course descriptions for books or from curriculum providers when you have purchased that curriculum. So when you have purchased my book, Setting the Record Straight, I give you permission to use the course descriptions in that book when you've purchased that book. Now, obviously they aren't cut and paste, right? Because it's a book. So you have to type it out and, typo problems, but you can still use those. You can also use your own curriculum providers, right? If you bought the curriculum, you bought the ability to use their course descriptions. Of course, all of that means that you need to keep good homeschool records and save information from the curriculum that you've used, right? But purchased curriculum often will come with course descriptions. Anyway, whatever you imitate, do look at all course descriptions and then choose the one that you like to imitate and then make it a perfect fit for you. Katie, the book I just mentioned, it's called Setting the Records Straight by Lee Benz. Okay, it's available on Amazon. All right, number four, you avoid plagiarism by using the Starbucks method. Okay, let me explain the Starbucks method. When you purchase a book, you get to use the descriptions in my book. But other times you can't, right? You don't want to plagiarize anyone. You didn't buy the curriculum, whatever. So here's how you do it. It's the Starbucks method. You read the course description. You take a sip of your coffee. You take a bite of your cookie. You spin around in your chair 3 times, and then you write it down in your own words. Okay. So in other words, you're doing what your child does to avoid plagiarism. They're learning the content and then they're imitating it in their own words, writing it in their own words. Okay. So that's what you can do as well to avoid plagiarism. learn the course description and then write it in your own words. Again, it is much easier if you just use course descriptions that are provided to you by somebody else. Of course, you would need to modify them for your own grades. Okay. Number 5, incorporate delight directed learning course descriptions. In homeschooling, the reason why we have a higher admission rate into the elite colleges is because we include things like delight directed learning. However, writing course descriptions for delight directed learning is equally as important to all of the other course descriptions. Okay. You want to describe all of their education. So when you're writing delight directed learning course descriptions, I call it the sticky note strategy. Okay. You make a yellow sticky note for all of the fun things that your child likes to do. You make a note of what year was it done, the amount of time they spent, kind of. Brainstorm the possible subject areas. And then when you have all these sticky notes for all of these wonderful fun things, you group the sticky notes together into what's called affinity groups, things that are similar. So it would be like putting all the sticky notes that involve dance together, or putting all the sticky notes that involve science together. Okay. And that's how you can create course descriptions for delight directed learning. All right. Now, those are 5 tips that you can put immediately to use. And in the next section, I'm going to teach you how to overcome inertia and actually getting it done, because having the very best of intentions is not enough. You have to actually do the heavy lifting and the doing of it. Okay. Well, one of the big keys is knowing why. Why are you doing this? Okay. So my husband and I, we used to tease our children and say, if you don't behave, I'm going to put that in your permanent record. And we would always say, dun, 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 the permanent record. It's a scary thing, right? Well, the thing is, as a home educator, as the professional you are, the permanent record is actually your job. And that's the biggest reason why we go through what we do. We are educating our children. The government sees us as a school. Schools must complete paperwork. The entire process is about you writing the permanent record, and the permanent record is your job. But the other thing is, it just has a huge payoff. The financial reward is huge, and most families need money for college, and academic rigor is rewarded. Most colleges want some proof of education. It's not just financially rewarding, though. I got to tell you, it's also emotionally rewarding. When you see how wonderful your child looks on paper, it can be shocking when you have normal children and they look so great in black and white. It's shocking. All right. The other reason is we are trying to convince the college that our homeschool is the real deal. The thing is, they don't take you at your word. They don't take anybody at their word, not even public or private schools. They want to be convinced. Now, the truth is, it is extremely easy to convince me about your homeschool in 20 minutes. I understand the words you're using. I know homeschooling in all its forms. You say something and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I know what that's like. But convincing colleges takes more work. Okay. They're not sympathetic friends. They look for data and facts. They probably have not homeschooled themselves. They may not know anybody that homeschools. They want to see evidence to support your claims. And again, you're not alone. They're looking for this from public schools and private schools too. Colleges are searching for well-educated teens, and well-educated teenagers are hard to find. Okay. So when you show a unique education in written words, and when you provide comprehensive homeschool records, all of a sudden colleges know your school, and the schools want this show and tell, not just the tell. Okay. So you want to show the home education. Now, here's a big key. Pizza, and chocolate, it's always the answer to everything. Can I get an amen? Okay. You just have to prioritize it above everything else. That means that when you are making your records, there is no cooking, no cleaning, no laundry, no dishes, no yard work. You work on that pizza only diet until you get it done. You know your children can work independently. And if they can't, you could get a babysitter. And if you can't, then you could go off to be alone if you need to. You got to prioritize this task. Now, I really believe that pizza only diet, that ordering out expense of the pizza only diet can be very motivating. Okay. Just whatever you do, don't avoid the job, but try to get it done. So I encourage you to try to find 1 week within the next month that you can prioritize your comprehensive records. Okay. And email yourself right now or put it on your calendar right now. Okay. What is that 1 week this month when you're going to get it done? Okay. And I would love for you to write that down as your commitment to make action, to take action. Not long ago, I was getting a note from a very happy customer, and Shelly was thrilled after creating her course descriptions. She said that the college coordinator emailed her and said, "This is great. I'm going to hold you up as a shining example of how to do transcripts and course descriptions." Isn't that cool? Took my class, and she gets the praise. I don't get the praise. She gets the praise. It's okay. On the other hand, if you don't make your records, this can happen. The poor man is 26 years old, a homeschooler, 26, and now he needs a transcript. You know what? I know you're scared to make a transcript now, right? Can you imagine making it 10 years from now after you haven't been homeschooling for 10 years? That would be kind of scary, right? So let's make sure to make your transcript every year, no exceptions, all right? There's benefits too. You remember when I told you my homeschool record strategy was being replicated by homeschoolers? Well, my Gold Care Club member, Tracy, she worked really hard on her course descriptions. She really buckled down. She said it took her hours. She said, I can't imagine doing it on my own. And then she said, if she had spent 100 hours in the process, she calculated she was making $1,600 per hour, which begs the question, how would you like to make $1,600 per hour? Because I'm going to tell you, that is a pretty nice income. That is more than Starbucks will pay you, right? And so that's what happens when you're clipping all of these college coupons, and especially when you focus on the paperwork. Many of the college coupons that we talked about at the very beginning, many of those things are things that only the teenager can do or rely on the teenager excessively. But the record keeping piece, that's something that you have control over. And it really is you that's making this wonderful income by doing the work and taking action today. So, oh, good. Rebecca's gonna take action. You go, girl. All right. So I would like to know if you have enjoyed the content today. And what I'm going to do is talk about my comprehensive record solution for a second. But I just wanted to know if this has been helpful for you, because it always helps me to modify what I have written. It looks like, okay, good, good, good. Not too open-ended. All right, good. But no matter what your concerns are about homeschool records, I have the solution for your concerns. So I want you to think for a moment, okay? Why did you attend this workshop? Were you curious, needed tips, wanted college admission, or needing scholarships? You need to understand that it's not just as easy as getting into college. You have to actually pay for college when you get there. And generally speaking, robbing a bank is not the answer, okay? I know that you've loved homeschooling. You probably love it more than record keeping. And I know that high school is looming large and you can't ignore the record keeping anymore. But you need a way to make it as stress-free as possible so you can finish as quickly as possible so you can get back to the fun stuff again. And so the time to take action is now. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to make that commitment to take action on the top of page 5. Okay. I want you to write this down. I will write my course descriptions and then put down the date. Okay. Now, parents of juniors or seniors, I really, really need you to do it this week. Okay. Before Thanksgiving. Definitely write down a day. For people that have kids that are in 10th grade or younger, all you really need to do is choose a month when you're going to get it done. And, you just decide every month in April, I get this job done. Okay. Now, there are three options to creating your comprehensive record. Option number one is avoided at all costs. The problem is you probably don't know where your child is going to apply for college, and what if at the last minute they require them. So that's a really it's a difficult place to be in, and the chances of making a mistake are quite large. Option two is do it yourself, but that's pretty hard because you have to come up with all that information yourself. Hopefully, I've given you quite a few tips already, but I recommend option number three, and that's getting professional help, not of the counseling kind, but help with the course descriptions, because it is easier and more convenient. The comprehensive record solution is going to help you create beautiful professional homeschool records for your high schooler. You are totally capable of doing it. The project will be fast and easy to complete because it gives you the training and the tools and the templates to help you make short work of this. Your child will stand out above the crowd, and that's what's going to give them the competitive advantage for college admission and scholarships. So students that come in with comprehensive records have a more powerful tool to distinguish themselves from the cookie cutter kid. While it doesn't necessarily help you all the time if you submit comprehensive records afterwards, when you submit course descriptions and all of the other documentation when you apply during the first month or two of senior year, it can make a huge difference in your course descriptions and scholarships. So the comprehensive record solution has 4 core modules. Let me explain them really quickly. Module 1 is a workshop called The Elements of a Comprehensive Record, and it gives you 4 successful examples to imitate. Module 2 is the Equip section. This is where you're going to find the downloadable templates, the paragraph long course descriptions, the full page course descriptions. This is the part where you control F. Remember, you control F to find the course descriptions that you need. And for those of you who are terrified of technology, I even have a 1-page template so that you can create a bunch of 1-page course descriptions one at a time so that it's not as overwhelming to you. Number 3 is a class called Turning Transcripts into Course Descriptions, and it's going to help you to magically change your regular transcript into an expanded transcript that looks more like course descriptions. It also includes a class on reading an awards list, an ebook on course descriptions, and it will give you examples of additional documentation that you might need. Module 4 is the in-depth review. That is 4 pages of documents reviewed by me, and I will give you feedback and encouragement and support. So you could have me look at your first 4 to make sure that you're right on track, or the hardest 4 to make sure that you're right on track. And I can look at up to 4 pages and review that document for you. Now, with your purchase, we have 4 great bonuses that are available all the time. The first is the transcript pack to help you create that core element of your comprehensive record. Second is the planning pack. It's college planning calendars for every grade level. Third is the record keeping pack. You've already seen great records start with great record keeping. And so you need some extra training in that, and extra training on how to make grades as well. And then listen up, it's the Silver Training Club. It's continuing education for serious home educators. The Silver Training Club is 5 training workshops each month. They're recorded. You could do them on your own time, very convenient. Do them in the laundry room while you're folding laundry. It includes tools and templates. Now, the Silver Training Club comes free with your purchase for 30 days, so you can try it out. If you like it, it will always be there for you. After 30 days, it's $27 a month, but you can cancel at any time, even the very day that you purchase, you can make a cancel, okay? We do also have some surprise bonuses. The first is a buy one, get one free bonus. If you purchase the comprehensive record solution today, we'll throw in the total transcript solution for free, so you don't have to choose between the two. You'll also get emergency course description help, and we'll give you a free workshop on college admission and scholarships and a free workshop on beyond academics. And those are going to really help you, those bonuses, get as much as you can out of this purchase. Now, this is what the comprehensive record solution looks like. You can see the core modules are on the top, core modules, right? And it says, and then there's bonuses and surprise bonuses, and that's where yours are going to be located, okay? Now, I also have a fast mover bonus. It's not on the comprehensive record solution page. It's actually emailed to you, okay? This fast mover bonus is a high school mini conference. Your classes here are creating homeschool balance, scheduling is the key to sanity, planning high school courses, and college admission and scholarships. These workshops were recorded at conventions around the country, and so it has a $60 value, and you can watch those classes instead of attending a conference nearby, okay? I hope that you'll join other successful parents in creating great records with the training and templates that you need, continuing education for your success, and bonuses to encourage you along the way. Now, with your purchase of the comprehensive record solution, you have a money-back guarantee, 100% risk-free for 30 days. If you don't like it, you can return it for a refund within 30 days of your purchase. This is a digital product, so nothing is going to be mailed to you. All you have to do is click on the button that you see on your screen. Now, the comprehensive record solution is a tremendous value. If you added it all up, we did this recently, and the value is actually $1,081. Plus, you're going to get the total transcript solution for free. Plus, this is a lifetime access that you can use with all of your children. But that is not what I charge. The regular price of the comprehensive record solution is $147, but you can actually save $50 today when you use the promo code CRSDoors97, okay? So your investment today is only $97. Again, that's a one-time payment with lifetime access. You can use it with all of your children. All you have to do is remember to put in the promo code CRSDoors97. Let me show you how to place your order if that's what you've decided to do today, okay? First, you fill out your billing information. When you choose your email, if you can use the email address that you used when you made a first purchase from me, that's really going to help. The next thing that you do is you fill in your credit card information. You might want to notice on the top of your computer, this is a secure e-commerce website. It says HTTPS, so your information is secure. This is where you apply the promo code. See that big blue arrow? There's words there. It says have a promo code. You click on those words. Up pops a box. Box number two. That's where you type in CRS Doors 97. And then you hit number 3. That's where you have to hit apply, okay? Now, if you just type in the promo code, it still says $147. But as soon as you click the apply button, it magically becomes just $97. And believe me, that's the price that you want, okay? Now, I will say one thing. After you've applied the promo code, I want you to know we do have a one-time offer for the high school solution, and you'll get an opportunity to purchase that at the lowest price you will ever see for this product. This offer is going to go away when you leave the page, so you want to think about it for just a second. The high school solution is a collection of 50 plus hours of training on how do you homeschool high school. Okay, and that's what the high school solution is all about. So if you like taking online classes or you fold laundry a lot and need something to entertain yourself with, the high school solution would be a great option for you. Now, once you've decided to include the high school solution or not, you just have to complete your purchase by clicking on the green bar. Okay, that green bar at the bottom. Click here to complete your purchase. All right. Now, let me give you a quick summary so that you understand. With the comprehensive record solution today, you can get $50 off with the promo code. It will include the total transcript solution free. You get lifetime access. You get the 4-workshop mini conference. You get 4 amazing bonuses. You get the promo code CRS Doors 97, so you get $50 off. And you can purchase that through the website comprehensiverecordsolution.com. Okay. I encourage you to think about your homeschool records, because what I hear most from families is shock and awe experiences on how these materials made a world of difference in the scholarships their child earned, their ability to graduate from college without debt. Colleges love the comprehensive record solution. All right, let me answer any questions that I can for you today. I'll leave that screen up there for a second. So if you have any questions, now is the time to ask, okay? Cindy says, the college that my child is most interested in is asked that we do not send a novel of information. They ask that course descriptions be no more than 3 to 4 pages. Would you recommend that this be organized by subject or by grade? What about AP? I recommend that you arrange it by subject. Do you remember when I mentioned that class, turning transcripts into course descriptions? Okay, because sometimes people get into a position where they're behind. Their college requires course descriptions and they only have time to make a 4-page document. And that's what the turning transcripts into course descriptions class is all about. So that's what's going to help you there, keeping it short and simple. And I can help you with that with the document review. So if you decide that that's what you need to do, then during your document review, you would just tell me I need to keep it to 4 pages and I would be able to help you with that. Okay. Let's see. Will I get lifetime access to this? And is there anything else I need to buy? Okay, so the comprehensive record solution is literally everything you need for record keeping. It helps you with only record keeping, but it is detailed information on record keeping. So whether you need a simple transcript, or whether you need long course descriptions, or whether you need short course descriptions like Cindy, this purchase is going to help you with all of that, okay? It doesn't focus a lot on scholarships. It doesn't teach you how to homeschool. It is focused on all of the pieces of papers that you might need to be producing in order to get your child into college, okay? And so that is what the comprehensive record solution is all about. Okay. Rebecca says, should we or can we tailor course descriptions for each target college? Tailor transcripts or course descriptions? I would say no, because as the creator of the permanent record, right, we're trying to have one permanent record. You're probably, I would encourage you to think of it as being legally required to only have one transcript. It's okay for you to have the same transcript by subject or by year, as long as it has the exact same information on it. But you only want to have one format on there. So if you're thinking about tailoring your course descriptions, then you might want to think about doing what your first choice college wants you to do. Now, if you were in a situation where you had already created lengthy course descriptions, Rebecca, and then like Cindy, you find out, oh my gosh, they only want 4 pages. What am I going to do? Shortening it down and submitting that to a college, that would be fine. The piece that you really can't change is the transcript, but it's going to be far, far easier for you just to create one thing that you submit to all colleges. Okay. By the way, I have 16 questions in the inbox, and I want you to know that if I don't get to your question, I apologize. I am really going to try to get to all questions today. Okay. Let's see. Kathleen's question: for performance-focused activities like professional dance, would you add links to videos of performances as work samples? So one of the things that colleges are looking for is kids that can communicate in writing, and they want that across the board, whether your child is STEM heavy or into the fine arts or anything. They're looking for people that can read, write, and do math at a college level. And so the work samples should be written pieces of work. However, in your course descriptions, when you're describing your dance classes, you can provide a link to, say, a YouTube channel or some place where you have put all of those things. But to be honest, they might be clicked on, but they're not going to be utilized the way you would think they would be utilized when your child is going to go into professional dance. They're going to be doing an audition. And so usually a link that you put in a course description is not going to compensate for an audition. She'll still have to audition, and that audition is going to be evaluated by dancers, people that actually know how to judge that sort of thing. And the course descriptions are usually looked at by the colleges that are looking more at their ability to read, write, and do math at a college level. Okay. Bobby says, what about that reading list? My kids don't read much yet, but they sure do like to watch documentaries and shows like that. Is there a way to make that work? They like history and science, etc. Okay. Yeah. So in that instance, those documentaries, etc., those go into the subjects in your course description. So it goes under history, it goes under science, but it doesn't go on your reading list. However, your reading list includes books about history and books about science, right? If you have a truly reluctant reader, I think you were the one that mentioned that earlier, then you might have, here's the 6 books that they read with their own eyeballs, and then here's the 12 audiobooks that we read about history, okay? And so you can beef up your reading list that way. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you to Martha for your purchase today. Thank you, Nina and Rebecca as well. And Bobby and Valerie, thank you for your purchase. I hope that you really enjoy this. And if you need any help, remember that Control F to find course descriptions is going to be extremely helpful for you. Crystal said, is it possible for some colleges to submit too much in the homeschool record? How do you know what each school would allow or want? Yeah, so that can be kind of challenging. And one of the things that I've come to realize is that colleges don't want to be a stumbling block between you and college. And they certainly don't want a stumbling block between you and your money. Okay. They would rather admit your child. They would rather have you apply. They would rather have you pay full price. So many times they won't say that they require course descriptions. Sometimes they don't even request course descriptions. If I had to guess, probably 1/3 of colleges right now require course descriptions. Not all of them do. But you know, your job is not just to get them into a college you can't afford to send them to and then have them sit at home on the couch because you can't afford to send them to college. Your job is to get them into a college with scholarships. And so preparing course descriptions for all schools makes sense to me. And then you can submit it to them. And if they use it, they use it. And if they don't, they don't. And will you know? I don't know. Crystal, in my experience, I had one college that very clearly said, do not send a novel of course descriptions to this college. But I used the advice that I have just been giving you, and I had created one big document. I think it was 40 plus pages, maybe 50 of course descriptions. And that's what I sent to all 4 of the colleges that each of my children applied to, even though this one college said they didn't want it. I mailed it by the post office, right? It was spiral bound. It was a hard copy. The one college that said that they didn't want these course descriptions was the one college that gave me the most trouble. They said my children had not been admitted because we hadn't met the requirements for foreign language because we didn't have a subject test in foreign language. Well, it was too late in senior year. I wasn't going to have my kids make a subject test for this one college at that point in senior year. And I said to them, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go back and look at whatever page 16 through 20 of my course descriptions, and you will read the course descriptions for 3 Latin classes and 3 uh, French classes, and I don't have a subject test. And do you know what happened? They read my course descriptions, even though they said they wouldn't and didn't want them. And please don't send them. They still read my course descriptions for foreign language. They admitted my child. They gave them the biggest possible scholarships. So in my own life, I've seen this firsthand. So I do encourage people to create course descriptions for everything that they've done. And I wanted to say thank you to Andrea as well. Thank you for your purchase. I appreciate that very much. Okay. Phyllis's question, I'm wondering if I should include college classes to count toward the high school transcript. If your child is taking college classes and they are high school age, and you have not graduated them from high school, then yes, it goes on your high school transcript. It's called dual enrollment. You get credit in high school plus credit in college. Okay. If you have not started college classes, then I encourage you to think very carefully about that. Community college is often a rated R environment, and some homeschoolers don't like their children watching rated R movies. And in the same way, some homeschoolers find out that a rated R environment at community college is equally shocking and not at all fun for the child. Okay. Let's see. Dorothy says, how long will this offer be available? I always speak to my husband before making purchases. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to extend this until midnight tonight. I don't like to do that without my husband prompting me to do that, but I think I'm going to just make that decision right now. We're just going to keep this offer available until midnight tonight because I do want you to speak to your husband. Funny story. In my family, I had a $20 limit. My husband and I, we would never, each of us wouldn't spend more than $20 unless we had checked with the other person. So I totally get that. Okay. Let's see. Rebecca says, did I understand that I can freely copy and paste course descriptions from curriculum materials I have purchased? There is no need to paraphrase. That is true. However, some curriculum providers don't write very good course descriptions or write it in a tone that is to a parent. So for example, the Sunlight curriculum, I use Sunlight myself, love the curriculum. But some of their descriptive materials seem to be a little bit more casual than I wanted to be. So you can paraphrase them or you can use them as needed. Jessica, oh my goodness, I'm now 40 questions behind. I'm still going to do my best. Jessica said, my oldest is in 8th grade. I feel as though I'm not even at the starting line yet. What do I need to know to help me for next year? Good question. So first of all, Jessica, I'm so glad that you're here because if you can remove your concerns about creating homeschool records, you will be successful. The number one reason in my experience that I've seen, the number one reason why people stop homeschooling in 8th grade before 9th grade is because they're afraid of transcripts and course descriptions, right? So by taking this class, hopefully you feel empowered. But if you decide to get the comprehensive record solution and learn about course descriptions now, that would go a long way into making you feel more comfortable. But also, where can I say? Oh, remember the one-time offer that I mentioned for the high school solution? The high school solution is really geared toward you, towards parents that have a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grader. They feel like they need to understand, how do I homeschool before they can start thinking about getting into college, right? And that's what the high school solution is for. It's to help you get all of the information that you need about how do you homeschool high school. Okay. And thank you, Azra, for your purchase. And Sujenri, thank you for your purchases as well. I hope that you love it, and it's great to have you in the workshop today. So thanks for coming as well. Okay, let's see. We did the dual enrollment. Danielle says, will providing work samples, when providing work samples for college, are we including samples of work that they've done for their senior year? Well, so that's an interesting question. If you got into a world of hurt, maybe you don't need to provide work samples from senior year or course descriptions from senior year, particularly if it's dual enrollment. You really want to provide the course descriptions and work samples for the years that were done previously. Now, that said, when you're choosing the writing samples, you want them to be absolutely stellar. And so that does usually mean that a writing sample is chosen from senior year because they get better and better as time goes on, right? If you can have them, excuse me, if you can have them do something that was graded by somebody that's really good at grading papers, then that would be better. Jessica says, is it better to have semester or year transcript? It is better to have a transcript that you prefer, Jessica. You are the professional. Suzanne says, is it necessary to assign grades for all classes, or can you say you took a mastery approach to classes? Okay, listen up. This is really important. It is extremely important that you assign grades for all classes. If you put pass-fail grades, when the college calculates your GPA, they calculate a pass class as a 2.0. And instead of having a 4.0, because your child is mastery, and mastery means they know the stuff, and they have a 4.0, all of a sudden your child will have a 2.0 GPA, and that would be bad. So you assign grades for all classes. I personally was in public school. I don't know how my teachers in choir and PE assigned grades because we didn't have tests in those classes, but I did get grades in those classes. I've done a lot of research on creating grades. I had those classes filled with research on the comprehensive record solution to help you. But I can say, Suzanne, that most teachers, most homeschoolers do feel a little worried about their grades, but we still have to grade our children, whether, public school, private school, we still need to do that. Cindy said, do we need descriptions for AP classes? Yes, you do. However, I have the course descriptions for all AP classes in the comprehensive record solution. So yay us, okay? Katie says, how do I count training seminars that my son takes with my husband and I? We do 20 hours of classes every 6 months, 3 more days for medical appointments and training, countless lab time at home because I have a brain injured child. My oldest son is invested and works so hard out of love for his brother, and it's so hard to know how to turn that into a class. Okay, let me answer that. But first, I would like to know if you are hesitating to make your purchase today, if you would like to just say why you're hesitating, I'd be more than happy to answer that question for you. So if you're hesitating, please chime in now, and I'll be glad to do that. Let's see, how do I count training seminars? Okay, so it's sort of like when we were talking about the sticky note strategy for delight directed learning. Okay, you put all of these things into a basket, and then you wait until you have enough things in that basket to count them as a class. So for example, going to all these seminars and all of the things that you do is very similar to having a kid that's involved in Boy Scouts and they get their scouting badges, right? And you're doing 20 hours of classes every 6 months. And a Boy Scout is doing 6 Boy Scout badges, and it took 20 hours for each Boy Scout badge, right? So it's kind of the same thing. And you just develop a sticky note for each of the kinds of things that you do. Now, I have helped other people that have had medically fragile students, and sometimes the kid really, the high school student isn't doing enough to help to count. And then other times they are. Other times it is an internship in health occupations. And it's called occupational education, right? And you're learning about different careers in healthcare. Okay, so chime in if you're hesitating, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So Krista says, my high schooler is doing dual enrollment at a local college. Do I put descriptions of dual enrollment classes on her course descriptions? Yes, that will be helpful. The more complete it is, and frankly, there's an emotional component too. If you say, here's my course description for the class that I taught, and oh, by the way, it is right next door to here's a course description taught by community college, all of a sudden it's like these two things are equivalent. I am just as important. My classes are just as rigorous. My school is a real school, just like that other school. Okay. And so having them side by side is really very good. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I have so many questions. I have 59 questions right now. So I'm doing my best. I'm just saying I'm doing my best. Okay, I'm hesitating because I got to meet with an advisor hired by my ex-wife. Okay, I can't make a decision before I understand. So I totally get that. And that's one of the reasons why we tried to get that on to the up until midnight. I understand if you can't do that. Now, the other option, Joy, is to remember that we do have the 30-day no questions asked guarantee. And so you could, in order to take advantage of the deal, you could purchase now and decide to return it later on if you needed to. All right. Okay. Let's see. ACT prep. Does that count as a class? Yes. However, I do not like the title ACT prep as a class title. I prefer the class title study skills. So if you can call it study skills, I will love you more. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Katie. I'm hesitating, says Julie, because I already own the comprehensive record solution. I am currently a Silver Trading Club member. I can see why you're hesitating, Julie. That is a very good reason for you to hesitate, Julie. But I'm glad to have you on board, and I really hope that you love your purchases. Hey, let me say thank you to Carolyn. Thanks for your purchase, and Donna for your purchase as well. And thank you to Pamela and Catherine. I'm really very glad that you've invested in this, and I hope that that investment means that you're actually going to use it too, and that you've written down your commitment to take action. All right. I'm looking for more questions. Very good. Janessa said, I'm checking with my husband. I totally get that. And again, that's why we did the up until midnight. Okay, Rebecca's question. How does your book, Setting the Record Straight, differ from the comprehensive record solution? Just a brief answer. I know you have so many questions. Yeah, so a book is a book is a book. The benefit of a book is that you can take it in the bathtub. You can highlight, you can underline. A book is awesome. Okay. Now, let's compare that to the comprehensive record solution. If you go to page 6 of your handout in the core modules, and core modules has the encourage, equip, and educate. You see that one section where it says ebook training, okay, to produce records. That is 1/3 of the book, Setting the Record Straight. Okay. The other 1/3 of the book is the sample course descriptions. Of course, in a book, you can't cut and paste them. So everything else that is on that page is not included in the book. So the book is valuable and important. And in my life, I have to have books. If I don't have books, it's like it's not real. You know what I'm saying? I have to have books. But the training and the templates is what comes with the comprehensive record solution. So to be honest, I'm not even kidding about this. If it was me, I would have bought both. And the reason for that is I have to have a book, and my husband would have had to help me with the comprehensive record solution because I'm not that technical. Okay. I will say that it is very technically easy to use. We've made it, we have dumbed it down so that even I can use the comprehensive record solution. Okay. Teresa says, can you tell me if it's showing that my purchase is complete? Okay, Teresa Norris. Teresa. I do not see that your payment is complete. Let me show you how that looks one more time. Okay, so after you set up the your billing information and your payment information, and you decide and you enter the promo code, make sure that the price is right. Just remember that green bar, you have to click here to complete your purchase. Okay, so Teresa Norris, that is for you. Make sure you click to complete your purchase. Okay. If you're ordering through PayPal, I think she said that. Did you say that? PayPal keeps telling me to confirm my purchase. Yes, that's right. So when you do pay by PayPal, you have to come back to the screen and then click here to complete your purchase. And I think that's what we're missing. And as soon as you do that, Teresa, I'm pretty sure it's all going to work out. Yes, so study skills instead of test prep. And when you do that, yes, you can include test prep for anything. The SAT, PSAT, AP, and CLEP, yes. So that would be great. You can also include other things when you're doing study skills. If you teach your child essay writing and they're practicing college application essays or whatever. Okay, Katie, she's getting all sassy with me. Katie says, well, I'm hesitating because I already own this, which is why I haven't bought it tonight. But then she said, it's very thankful to have it. So that's good. Thank you. I'm just teasing you, Katie. Just teasing you. Okay, very good. CJ says, do we specify that classes were taken online? You can do that. I think that can often be very helpful. So anything that you can do to provide more details will be a good idea, right? So saying that you took it online, that'd be great. Julie's question, is it possible to receive the discount on the high school solution if we already have the comprehensive record solution? Julie, if you send me an email, I'm going to have my staff research that for you. I think that when you log into the high school solution, they have an upgrade offer. I'm pretty sure, and my husband can chime in too. But I do think that there's a promo code that's offered on the on the comprehensive record solution to upgrade to the high school solution. And if not, we can fix you up. Janessa says, I got to go fix dinner. Thank you so much. I totally understand. All right. Well, I think, let's see, I've gotten through so many questions and now I'm just getting lost between the questions that I have and the questions that I have not answered. Okay. Well, listen, I wanted to say thank you all for coming today. And I hope I did the very best I could on your questions. And oh, there's Larissa. She's so sweet. These materials have given me so much peace. This is the best purchase I have made through homeschooling. Very detailed, very thorough, to get my records together. That's so nice. Thank you, Larissa. I sure appreciate that. Okay, so there was a question about including where a course was taken, home, co-op, or online, etc. Okay, and you can include that on the course descriptions. I don't like people to include that on the transcript because sometimes it feels like you're discounting your own home education, like yours doesn't matter and online schools or co-op schools are better. And the other thing is when you put it on a transcript, sometimes colleges don't understand and they think you're going to be getting a transcript from the homeschool co-op, which you're not, and so I think it's better to include that on the course description if you want to, but you don't need to, but you can if you want to. Okay. Do 4 pages of course description include more than one course? Okay, so Marianne, what I encourage people to do is write a course description for each class that is 1 page or less. Never have a course description that is longer than 1 page. If you do that, you're actually writing a syllabus, and that would be way, way, way too long. No matter how much you love the class, no matter how important it is, never have a course description that's more than 1 page. Okay. But sometimes, and we saw this earlier, college may say, we only want up to 4 pages or whatever, and then you can shorten that down, and that's when that might happen. Okay. Oh, Rebecca said, thank you very much. This has been an answer to prayer. That is what I like to hear. Hey, let me say thank you to Teresa, who was successful. Everybody clap. Teresa did it. Good job, Teresa. Thank you. And thank you, Julie, as well, for making your purchase today. I really hope that you love it. It makes your life so much easier as well. I'm all about easy. Okay, yeah, if your question got lost, now is your chance to ask it, okay? Anne just wrote, I think my question got lost. If we have already submitted the Common App, would you follow it up with a comprehensive record? If you have it almost ready, then submitting it by paper to the colleges that you're applying to is probably going to be helpful at this point. Once you get past Thanksgiving, though, most of the scholarship money has already been given away. That's why I tell people to start early and work every year, because it always surprises people that you want to turn it in before Thanksgiving. If you do have an 11th grader or younger, then I just want you to know that it's cheaper if you upload the course descriptions to the Common App. But it is still frustrating to do that. And sometimes it is more to your advantage to mail it in. I'll tell you what, when somebody gets that spiral bound package of material, it conveys gravitas of your homeschool. You know, when I think about that binder of material that I sent to the colleges, they only needed to know that I was one of those kinds of moms that would create that amount of information about my homeschool, and instantly, without even reading it, they would know that we were producing highly educated kids because we worked that hard on getting that done, right? So sometimes all you need to do is convince the colleges that you're one of those crazy homeschoolers that actually educate their children. Other times the college will say, I just got to read this one course description. In my instance, it was the foreign language. Remember, I told you about that. Other times colleges will care the most about a specific class. How did you teach science, or how did you teach math? Other times colleges figure math and science and history are all the same, but how could you possibly teach this elective at home? And they'll want to read that course description. So you can never really tell exactly how they're going to use it. If the application is online only, you're still interacting with a college, and you could still mail information to the college. Hopefully you've developed some sort of a relationship with the college so that you can speak to them directly to find out if it would be helpful to them, and where you would mail it, and to whom do you address it, and that sort of thing. Okay. Okay, well, I want to thank you all for coming today, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening. Remember, you can still make your purchase just for a couple more hours until midnight. And then at that point, you'll have to take another class with me. Okay. So thank you all for coming today. I hope you have really enjoyed this class. My staff is going to stay on for a few extra moments if you have purchasing questions, or if you continue to have ordering trouble. I don't want anybody to be disappointed. And if my staff is no longer on the line after about 5 minutes or so, then you can still email my staff, and we will answer you during the next business day. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. And I got to say one more thank you to Carolyn. Okay. Free books in chat. Oh, right. I almost forgot the free books. We got the 2 free books. I didn't get my pictures. There it is. Okay. Yes, there's the free recipe collection. Everybody make sure you grab your recipe collection. That is on chat, my cookie collection. And then the other free book, I don't see it. It's How to Put Fabulous Fun on Your Homeschool Transcript. And my husband will put that in chat as well. Let me go down there, make sure it's there. Everybody's saying thank you. Okay, so the problem is everybody said thank you, right? So now you've got to scroll up a little bit and you'll see where my husband chimed in with how to put fabulous fun on your homeschool transcript and the cookie recipe collection. And thank you, Cindy, for the good wishes. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening and have a wonderful time cooking your Thanksgiving dinner. So thank you guys for coming. Have a great day. Bye-bye.